Hey there, welcome back. So today we will discuss about autoboxing and unboxing. So let's get started. First of all, we will add in a new class in our project, and the name of the class would be app as usual. We will also add in the main method, and here is our class. Now friends, to get started, first of all we will make use of a array list. So this would be a list of roll numbers maybe for students. So it would be like array list. Let's auto complete it, and it would be list of int entities, right? So we would be storing a list of integer, and the name would be like student numbers equals, oops, the keyboard is not that good. All right, so new array list, and that's it. Now as soon as we do this, Eclipse start complaining somehow. And if we hover upon this complaint, it says syntax error, insert dimensions to complete reference type. So this is some weird type of error, and we don't know why this is happening, right? All right, so let us try to add a element and whether this error gets vanished automatically or not. So let's do that, and we will try to add, and nothing happens, right? And the reason why we are not able to add anything in this list is because of this int type, because array list can contain list of objects only, and int is a primitive data type. Now what is the solution? First solution could be we create an wrapper for int. Now what is an wrapper? This is something which we will discuss in couple of minutes. And second solution, which is a better solution, is make use of a wrapper class which is already available to us. So in fact there is a equivalent wrapper class available for every primitive data type. So in here we will type in integer. Now before adding the wrapper class for integer, let me show you a small little thing. You might remember that we were able to add a list of a string, array list of a string, right? And there is no issue. Eclipse is not complaining either. The reason behind this is string is not a primitive data type, rather it's an class. So in here, if we hover upon this, it's an java.lang.string. And if we check the description, it says the string class represents the character string. All string literals in Java programs such as ABC is implemented as instance of this class. So definitely string is a class, and this is the reason why we don't have any issue. But when it comes to int is a primitive data type. If I hover upon this, let us check whether this shows an reference of this or not. Let me click on F1. In fact, I am not able to check the reference for int. Let me minimize this and let us navigate to Google and quickly check int in Java, and it will say it's an primitive data type, right? So this is an primitive data type. Right, so this is one of the 8 primitive data type in Java. Let me minimize this. So this is not allowed. All right, so in place of int we will type in integer, and I is in uppercase, this is in class, and if we hover upon this, then it will say java.lang.integer. This class is already available to us as this is a part of lang package. And if we check the description, it says the integer class wraps a value of a primitive type int in an object. An object of type integer contains a single field whose type is int, right? So this is a wrapper class. Alright, as soon as we make use of a class equivalent for primitive data type int, our issue vanish. Definitely we also have the wrapper class for all the remaining primitive data type in Java. So we also have that, and we will also check the example for the same. As if now, if I type in student numbers dot add, and we add in a number, for example 25, then there is no issue, and we can in fact also show the information directly on the console by typing in student numbers dot get, and we pass in the index as 0. So this is working like a primitive int data type. There is absolutely no change, and there is no issue. But somehow there is a catch in here. In here, this object, this primitive object is working as a primitive data type somehow, and this is because autoboxing and unboxing which is working in the background. In order to understand this, we will try to create our own wrapper class for integer and then try to implement the same logic. So let's do that. So I will add in a multi-line comment in here in order to keep this for your reference, and moving forward we would be creating an wrapper. So let's do that. So it would be like class int wrapper, and inside this class we will have a single integer entity. So it would be like int value, and this int would be like public. Now based on this single int value we will create an constructor. So I will right click, navigate to source and generate a constructor using field. So we have the constructor now. We don't want call to superclass. This class is an independent class. It is not inheriting from anything. So we don't need the superclass, and we will also create the getters and setters for the same. So as soon as we do all of these, we have the wrapper class. What is a wrapper class? A wrapper class works on a single entity, and for that specific single entity we will have the constructor, parameterized constructor, and we also have the getters and setters for the same. Alright, so now we would be adding a yet another list. So let me copy this line of code and paste it in here. Alright, so now we would be creating a student numbers list, but we will be not making use of the wrapper class which is provided by Java. We will use this int wrapper. So let me copy the name and paste it in here. So now we have the custom wrapper class. Now we will try to copy this code and paste it in here. And somehow Eclipse starts complaining. It says add argument to match, add int, int wrapper, which is strange. Now, in fact, in the background, when we make use of these wrapper class, which is provided by Java, autoboxing and unboxing are implemented automatically. Now, how this works, what exactly happens in the background is something which we will discuss in a couple of minutes. But as of now, if we are making use of a custom wrapper class, then boxing and unboxing needs to be implemented by us manually. Now, how to do that? Let me show you. Boxing first. So this would be like new int wrapper, and we will pass in the value maybe 12 this time, and here it is. So in here what we are doing is we are converting a primitive data into an object, and this is known as boxing. Now friends, in line number 26, the line which is highlighted currently, in here we need not to make use of any method in order to convert a primitive data type to a object. This is because Java is automatically boxing this situation. So in fact, this scenario is known as autoboxing because the conversion is taking place automatically. So this is known as autoboxing. Alright, moving forward, when we are reversing the situation where we are converting object to primitive data type, that is known as unboxing. So let me show you that. So if we try to print out the value which is there in our object, then how we will handle this? We will type in student numbers dot get. We will pass in the index, and then we need to call in the getter method. So we will type in get int value. Alright, so this is known as unboxing. So in here at line number 27, it is done automatically. Again, this is known as unboxing. Alright, so now moving forward, we would be also checking actually what happens in the background when we make use of these wrapper class which are provided by Java. So for doing so, let us comment out all the stuff. Oops. I will do that in a couple of minutes. Alright, so now I have commented out all the stuffs which we have coded till now. We will also keep this wrapper class for your reference, but now moving forward, we will do some other stuffs as well. So let me hit couple of enters in order to show you a better space for coding. Alright, so now we have plenty of white space. Alright, so in here we would be creating a new array list. This would be array list of double. Alright, and it would be a simple demonstration. So it would be like demo list equals new array list. Alright, so this is cool. Now friends, in this list we would be adding couple of elements, so let's do that. So I will type in demo list dot add, and double is an class, so we will add in an object. Now the special thing about already available wrapper classes is that we can directly add values, for example 25.5, and if I add in the semicolon then there is no issue. Let me comment this out. So this is possible because Autoboxing will work in the background. Now in order to add the element manually, there are two ways. So we will again type in demo list dot add. So first way is adding an object. So I will type in new double and pass in the value, for example 25.2, and this will also work. So this is one way. Now in the background, Java doesn't apply this way. In fact, there is a yet another way of adding element, which is like this: demo list dot add, and oops, let me fix the issue. Add all method got selected. Alright, so inside this add a method, we will call in a yet another method. So first of all, we will type in the wrapper class, which is double, and then there is a method as value of, and we will pass in the value, for example 25, or in fact 10.0, and this will also work. So this mechanism is applied in the background when we are applying Autoboxing, or when we do this, which is highlighted at line number 36. So whenever we directly add in a value in the background, when we compile the program, Java compiler will convert the code like this. So this is done. This is done while Autoboxing. Alright, so this looks cool to me. Oops. Alright, so this is good. Alright, let me comment this out as well. So we have added one sample value. What about unboxing? How we unbox or how we display this value? Let me show you. So in here, I will type in list.get, and we can pass in the index value, and this will work again. Let me show you by adding the sysout statement. So if I execute this program, we should get the output as 10.0, which is perfect. Now this is how the programmer will code the program, but what about unboxing in the background? So the actual thing which will done in the background would be like this. So it would be like demo list. Let me comment this out as well. So it would be like demo list dot get. We will pass in the index, and moving forward we will call in a yet another method, which is double value. So if the primitive data type is int, then it would be like integer value. In case of double, it's double value, and this program will again work properly. So let me comment this. So comment would be this is done while unboxing. Alright, so this is how the background process would be. Now this overall program might be a little confusing, right? So let me get rid of all of these junk, and I will keep this for your reference. And moving forward, I will be quickly adding a yet another class. The name of the class would be clean, and it will also contain the main method. Alright. So in here we would be adding two examples. First example would be for int. Second example would be for float maybe. So in here I will type in array list. So in this program we will show you how exactly the programmer will code when we are in actual environment, and don't worry about autoboxing and unboxing. That would be taken care by Java automatically. So it would be like integer and demo list integer equals new array list. That's it. How we will add a value? We will add maybe 10. How we will display the value? Very simple. We will simply type in demo list integer dot get, and we will pass in the index. and that's it. So this is how we will do in the actual environment when we will code for some company maybe, right? So in your job, this is how things would be done. How the background process is done, autoboxing and unboxing, is already known by you by now. All right, let's add in a yet another array list, and this would be for float. Demo list float equals new array list demo list float dot add. Let's add in a value. This value could be like 12.0f, right? And we will output the value as demo list float dot get, and index would be 0 again, right? And here is the output. Alright, so now you can like experiment with array list, how to add more elements, how to modify, how to remove element, how to make use of for each, how to add element using for each is something which you need to experiment. You need to think about program and practice for it, which is really important. So this is it with autoboxing and unboxing. I hope the concept is cleaner in your mind, but practice is must. Thanks for watching. Take care.